Okay, hello everyone. So my name is Levent again. I'm the founder of the startup company NGIatlantic.eu, which is a spin-off from a research institution from France, from CA. It has been founded about 2.5 years ago. And I'll be presenting you our joint work that we have done with our US and EU partners. Actually, from US side, we have been working with Columbia University and Rutgers University, and we had also European partner, University of Cantabria. So it's about securing the intersection in the urban environments. Actually, our goal was quite, clear, straightforward. It was to make the intersection smarter to save lives. And just after we have actually submitted our proposal, we had this tweet from the mayor of New York City, which was indeed highlighting the importance of securing the intersections. It is not true only in New York, but it is true in many big cities in Europe as well, and also small cities. And in you can see in EU and US about half of the road accidents occur in intersections, and many of them ends up with fatalities. And this actually tweet was just right after an accident, actually unfortunate and very simple accident that was a like 14 years old, a teenager girl that she was crossing in an intersection, and a big truck, going very slowly and didn't see her and went over. And this kind of situations actually could have been avoided with very simple. You don't need to be, very, very complicated. It had been already avoided. And so this was a bit one of the motivations that we had in this project. And we know indeed that IoT, AI, big data, cloud computing, they have indeed all the capacity to avoid these kind of situations and save lives. One important challenge that we particularly wanted to deal in this project was indeed to deal with this need of real life settings to test the solution. So we can build all these solutions, but we need real life experimentation spaces to validate those solutions technically, from the social acceptance perspective, etc. So that's why we have indeed come up with our partners, having these two test beds, one from US side and the other from the EU side. So US side, they have been already having a test environment, actually testing different stuff, including an intersection test bed. And which is actually located in the North Manhattan area, somewhere here, and having monitoring an intersection with a couple of cameras. And on the other hand, Santander City, actually, which is quite also technological city that many sensors, IoT devices have already been deployed. They have a large infrastructure that welcomes experimentations in the city. So the goal was indeed to be able to do an experimentation which can be replicable across different test beds. So our involvement was indeed here bringing our open source platform, doing the collection of data, analysis of data, and then building an application where indeed we can help avoiding those kind of dangerous situations. So we have worked on this project. I will not go too much on the details, but typically, all the cameras that have been indeed be used in the testbed. We have been doing edge computing, where indeed our partners were processing this camera images, detecting different types of objects, their speed, direction, etc. And they were not sending us the raw video, but the information about the detected features. So type of vehicles, pedestrians, speed, etc. And then we were analyzing this and listing a couple of information, like what is the number of vehicles in a particular time of the day, what is the detection of the traffic jams, detection of speed violations, red light violations, detecting potentially these collision potentials between the vehicles and the pedestrians. So we have been doing all these analyses without the need of having the real video, which had been, for the privacy reasons, been done at the edge level. So we had indeed three main use cases. So the first one was indeed efficient traffic management. Besides this social impact about the dangerosity of the intersections, we have for sure other impacts of those situations, like economic impact, all the time that we can spend in those intersections or on the traffic, also environmental impact. So all the greenhouse gas emissions caused by those traffics. So management of the intersections have also, efficient management has also many other impacts besides the social impact. So what we have been doing, we have been doing all these number of vehicles, pedestrians, average traffic speed, detecting traffic jams. Detecting dangerous situations, we are not providing a fine mechanism, but it was indeed to detect those situations, provide statistics, provide predictions to the traffic management service so that they can take necessary measures, and those measures can be indeed to include additional security mechanisms, or in the near future, with the arrival of the 5G or 6G, whatever, being able to, in real time, notify pedestrians and the vehicles about those dangers. And finally, the monitoring, as I mentioned, the impact of the environmental impact of those traffic situations to the environment, actually, the impact of those situations to the environment. Yeah, as I mentioned, there were a couple of cameras, and what we have been doing, as I mentioned, in the edge service, those information have been processed by our partner, and we have been doing additional processing indeed to detect all the features that I mentioned, the number of vehicles and all the other situations that I mentioned, and then showing that in our visual interface. As you see, what we have been gathering, actually, this boxes and the directions and speeds, all this information, without having the real data, and doing the analysis on top of that. And then we have replicated that in Santander City. So another partner of they had a small part in the project. So the idea was indeed to build a solution based on this first use case, which has a quite established intersection case, and then replicating it in Santander, and then we have done it in 3 roundabouts in Santander in Spain. And then, yeah, the important part was indeed having this collision potential detection, and we have indeed identified a couple of areas where those situations that happened at that event that I mentioned, actually, most dangerous situations, actually, there's a pedestrians going and you have the right turns, which do not see bikes or pedestrians, and they cause the accident. So the idea was indeed to detect when a pedestrian or a vehicle entering to these risky zones, and if we detect indeed some based on the directions that we can detect and the speed that we can detect. So if there's any even small danger situation, potential, raising alerts, and also using the AI techniques to detect vehicle speed for sure, and also traffic lights violations. So we had done also some evaluation on that. We were actually in terms of number of false alerts quite good, except maybe you are kind of asking yourself why there are 217. Actually, the reason was without knowledge of the context, we were thinking that there were many accidents, but actually there was a road construction work, and there was already one truck there, always there. So this created those false alerts. So this shows that we also, in addition to this data that we collect and analyze, we also need to know a bit about the context. If there's some road construction work, we have to be aware of that. And this can be also provided by some open data platforms about those contextual information. So we have, it was very effective collaboration, and I'm very happy of that. We are actually, even if the project has ended, a couple of months ago, we are still continuing to doing our bi-weekly meetings with the team. So, and hopefully, yeah, we are looking for other opportunities. Hopefully, we will be able to identify and continue the work. We have done 2 joint demo papers accepted, 1 presented, and the PERCOM one will be presented soon. We have a YouTube demo video. We also have a leading role in the Urban Technology Alliance, which is a global alliance on smart cities. Santander being part of member of that alliance. We also announced this in the website of the alliance and the newsletters. And we have also presented this in the well-known Smart City Expo in Barcelona and another event in Washington. This, I don't know what happened, but yeah, I don't remember what was into. Yeah, I think because we are continuing to collaborate and looking for future opportunities. I think that was my, yeah, okay. So this is some links for further information. I think you have access to the slides. So we have some news and YouTube video and some other information that you can check. Okay, thank you very much.
Before the questions, by the way, now that you mentioned the slides, we have some slides shared on Google Docs. Then you will let me know if you are okay in the fact that they're shared. But for the other ones on PowerPoint, we can then make them available either via a shared doc if you agree with that, and can make it. Okay. Questions from home?
Yes. Hi, Levent. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think you were, one of the fortunate ones that were able to travel, after the COVID-19 lifted. Can you let us know how that went? Like, one of the things that we were always promoting was that the EU partner would be involved in sort of the interconnection or the setup, at the platforms in the US side. So can you maybe just talk us through that? How did that go? Was it easy? Was it time consuming, or?
No, the physical meetings, they were definitely very interesting and useful. Actually, as you may remember, you may know, actually, we have started initially our collaborations within the NGI Explorers program, where I spent 2 months actually in New York. And this was certainly, very, very effective to build this collaboration. And then I also had indeed one member from my team joined indeed to prepare the demonstration we had for the conference. And then I visited as well at the end of the project, also joined to the event that I mentioned in Washington, the Smart Cities Connect. So yeah, physical presence is certainly very important, very interesting. And yeah, we were indeed, as you say, fortunate enough to be able to make this travel happen.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions from the room? No.
I noticed that Ivan is online from Cosmos. Ivan, was there anything you wanted to say? Maybe he just stepped away. Well, yeah, we'll continue, because I think there's other projects coming up that involve the Cosmos platform as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Levent.